Autobots, transform! I have summoned you here for a purpose.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today I'll be taking a look at Hasbro's Transformers Earthrise Starscream. This is his window box packaging. The box itself is shaped exactly like Transformers Siege packaging, only it's given a new Earthrise deco where it's more green and earthy and a lot different than Cybertron. They actually have the Earth on the package here. We can see Optimus Prime, Wheeljack Hound. I'm thinking this guy is Trailbreaker. RC Sideswipe. We see the Ark being shot down by the Nemesis. Ark crashing to the Earth. Got Shockwave right here running one of his experiments. Looks like Perceptor right here. Quintesson. Megatron. And Unicron is coming. And then there's a little tiny guy being blasted into space right there. And Galvatron on the top of the package. I did not notice that in my other reviews. Galvatron on the top of the packaging. And a Decepticon logo. I don't think I ever took a look at the top of the packaging, but there is the top of the packaging. Check out the bottom of the packaging. Okay. Just in case I missed something. On this side it has the artwork for Starscream. Voyager class figure in the box. The back of his package is the product shot of Starscream, the Battle Master he can wield, his new Earth jet mode right there. So I think that's about enough for the packaging. I mentioned 8 and up, Hasbro, Transformer Generations on the box. They put it on all the box. Takara Tommy. So anyway, to get Starscream open. Now I had a chance to grab this figure before when these figures were first released earlier in the year, before the whole pandemic thing. And I put this figure back because I had reached my toy budget, a budget that I set for myself for one day or one weekend, and I chose to put Starscream back and immediately regretted it. But I guess stores are getting new shipments, and Starscream is back on the shelves. He was in abundance at Walmart. And inside the packaging is this little insert, warning, trick, hazard paper, some copywriting, and that's about it. And his instruction booklet, which I should not need in case you want to take a look at it. This is the instruction booklet, where it's actually a fold-out pamphlet for Starscream Earthrise. Oh, I'm super excited to get this figure. I'm excited to get his repaints as well. I hope it is as good as I want it to be. He's tied with exactly one tie. And let's take a look at Starscream. Iconic Transformers character. And is a staple for most Transformer franchises, pretty much all Transformers franchises. And his character does not change much from franchise to franchise. Spinning him around. Man, he's cleaned up pretty good in the back, I tell you that. The cone hanging off, but he always had the cone hanging off. The wings look pretty good in the back. The legs are not hollowed out. Noticing that immediately. Let's take a look at Starscream's face. Looks very much like Starscream, I guess. We don't have any light piping going on this time. He has red metallic eyes, metallic painted eyes in there. Black head, chest. You can see, I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't think it's on purpose, but there's some red on the little turbines in his chest. I don't think should be there going around. Let me see if I can point it out to you, like right in there. I got red. Look like it's splashed up on mine. I think it's just supposed to be that whole gunmetal gray, but the red paint chest is in there. Starscream also has a little bit of paint splotching right here. It's not bad. I'm just pointing it out to you. It's cool. I ain't broke up about it. Coming to his thighs. And I did mention he has molded in detail all down his arms, his waist, and his thighs. His kneecaps has some molded in detail in there. the little vents we're used to seeing on Starscream right here. And coming to his feet, he actually has feet instead of like stilettos. You know, he has a stabilizer in the back, which is nice. And then like he has a little bit extra going on. They put a little extra something on it. It's like a pattern in there, some vents inside there, gray paint on top. A little bit of extra going on there for this guy. Turning to the side, you can see like his tail fins tucked away, which is real nice. Now let's take a look at his articulation. His head is on a ball joint. It will fully 360, even though you probably should never have to use that at all. His head will rock from side to side. He can look up that far, and he can look that far down. Coming to his arms, he gets his arms up this high, which is kind of a bummer. I'll get into that. Rotates full 360, hits the wing. The wing will fold back actually out of the way so you can get some more poses out of it, which is kind of cool because I don't think that's transformation. I think that's just extra articulation. So that counts as articulation. Coming to his bicep, he has a bicep swivel, full 360 out of that. Ooh, you can see a little bit of hollowing right there where they save some money on some plastic. Get his elbow bent up. I accidentally bent up his hand. Elbow bent up this far. That's all you're going to get out of that. And I accidentally moved his hand. And that indicates there is no wrist rotation. Whenever you see that hinge on any of these figures, then it lacks the wrist articulation and it does not turn. As far as the null ray, it is just plugged in via the port, so you can get that anywhere you want it, full 360. And because of this chunk right here, I can tell you right now, there is no waist articulation at all. Nothing in there. His leg movement, you get his legs out this far at the hip. Not as far as some of the Siege, or most of the Siege figures. Move this panel up and see if how far we can get Starscream to kick forward. And that is about it. And coming to the back, not much at all because this panel is here, but you can bend it at the knee to get it back that far, and he can boot some Autobots. Back to that hip joint, it swivels 360 if you wanted to in there. And coming to his knee, move this panel again, but his knee bends about that far, which is pretty good, but it's limited here. It won't rise up any more than this, so it's not a lot going on. The articulation is there, but I'm not sure about getting a lot of posability out of it. But I mean, how much do you really need? But you know, it just seems like it could be a little bit more. And coming to that foot I talked about earlier, it rocks forward at the toe and at the stabilizer, up and down, and there's some side to side. It gets Starscream in a wider stance and keep both his feet on the ground. And so that kind of leads me into posing this figure, because articulation is only as good as a pose you can get it in. And I just discovered and saw the arm will only come up this far, so he can't aim high. You know, and maybe, I don't know how many Autobots are flying, but an Autobot may be on a ridge or something, on a high ground. I guess you would have to work it like this to pull that off, but I kind of don't like the fact that the shoulder does not come up higher than that. It kind of sucks. I mean, you can rotate the arm, but that really, bicep, that won't help you get that pose. Let's say I try to get him in like a flying launching pose, aerial attack type thing, and then you can't roll the shoulders over and put these cannons in the front. You know, where he's, I guess, aiming straight down. You just got to do it like this. And it's not bad, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more personally out of this. I don't know why. I don't know why. But it just seems like it should be better poses you can pull off with this guy. But he's not bad. It's not bad. But say you give him all these points of articulation. I want to make it dynamic, because we're going to get at least 3 of these guys. Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp, probably Hot Link, and Red Wing. They're probably going to trick all these guys out again. And you want to be able to display the exact same mold differently on your shelf. Okay, speaking of molds, I'm going to go ahead and get them out here next to the Siege version right now and take a look at the similarities and the differences. From what I can see, without even giving a full examination, they share nothing. Like Siege Optimus and Earthrise Optimus shared a few things here and there, but these guys I don't think share anything. The color, well, they share the color pattern, but the forearms are different, the hands are different, the size of the hands are different. He came to Earth and hands got big, I guess. The feet, again, this guy's wearing the heels, the stilettos, and he has actual feet. Looks a lot better. Cockpit is totally different. The turbines in the chest are totally different while being similar at the same time. The null rays are different. And let me see if the null rays are swappable. They usually use the same port, right? And okay, you can put it in here, but it's a little loose. And I think that's a good thing. And I'll tell you why in a sec. Let me see if it oh, you can get this one over here. So it might vary from figure to figure. Let me try the second one too. See if it's any different. Sometimes it's slightly different. Okay, these are smaller, a hair smaller, which is good because if these things fit perfect, you're gonna find a lot of these Starscream in your store packaged with these, because people will buy a figure, take parts, and take it back. So I think they might have did that on purpose. This is definitely something that people wanted and something that I wanted too. I didn't like these null rays at all, even though they're supposed to be Cybertron versions, but they look like machine guns, sort of, kind of. And I didn't like these at all. And if they were to fit perfectly, you would see people just swapping them out and taking them back. And I was curious to see if they did that, and I think I was right. But it could vary from figure to figure, and I could be wrong. But okay, continuing our examination. Of course, the wings are different because they turn into the Tetrajet in the Siege line. Wings sit up higher. And overall, the Siege version is a little bit taller. At least at the vents. Yeah, well, no. All of the head sits taller. The top of the chest sits taller. And the vents are taller. So the Siege guy is actually taller. Which is interesting. I don't mind, but it is interesting. And they did away, I'm so glad the weathering thing is gone. Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like the animation cell version that came out either. Just give me my straight up figure. If I need to add something, I will add something. So we're going to move on to Starscream's transformation. I'm going to remove the null rays for his only bit of parts forming. Fold his hands back, open up the wrist, collapse the forearms, fold his hand back, collapse the forearm. Then I'm going to sort of pop the chest. I'm doing this right. You know my transformations are not the official ones. Something pops open here. Okay, open up the chest and okay, this cover the head, that snaps. Pull this out, rotate this around. I'm gonna get the arms in here. This collapses in sort of like the Masterpiece version. Make sure I'm keeping it in the camera. Okay, and they just tuck away right in here, just like the Masterpiece. Well, sort of like the Masterpiece, a lot like the Masterpiece version. Close this up. I'm coming to his legs. I'm sure. Okay, this opens up. Gonna accordion his legs down. Move this panel. Wait, move that panel. Got this right. Close that up. Close that up. And there are tabs to connect the legs. Boom. Collapse these. Collapse his toes to the back. Oh wow, that's interesting. More tabs right here. It's funny, while being different, it's a lot like the Masterpiece version, like the thought process. Looks different, but you can see where that inspired this transformation a bit. Alright, I got that wing sort of kind of popping off. But maybe I should have did that separately. Okay, I'm going to rotate this around, rotate the long way. There's a tab right there and a port right there. Same thing on this side. Probably should have did this part first. Put that in there, bring these down, down, and we're done. And this wing is trying to pop off right here and close these. And I think oh wait, no raise. Okay, we got the, okay, wait. All right, other than tabbing, oh yeah, this wing right here is kind of funky. It's jumping off. I felt it wanting to come off when I was turning it, and I kind of held it as I turned it. But yeah, it's trying to get off of there. And okay, a little bit of tabbing issues, and I believe this is me. First time transforming it fresh out the box, but here it is. This is your basic Starscream in his Earth mode, and he looks a lot like the movie. And when I say that, in the animated movie, you know how the artwork just changes a lot. But in the animated movie, when he was trying to gun down RC and Springer, this is the look, because he doesn't have the painted nose cone. This looks a lot like that shot. Yep, look, that wing. QC, that's not me doing that. QC, it fell loose earlier, and he's got one funny wing, like the Siege version had the funny chest. Wanted to keep popping off, and it's always something. But let's take a look at Starscream in jet mode. Why they chose to put the Decepticon symbol so far to the side, I will never know. Maybe it looks better in the robot mode where you can kind of see him on the sides of his arm, but in this mode, not so much. He has a port here, obviously for a Battle Master to connect other figures, because that's what they do. Port here, and there's that wing. I'll be damned. You can put it here and maybe get there, or maybe this for other Battle Masters. You can do a few different things with the null ray. Let me see how cool, if it looks cool like that. Nah, not liking it. But that wing is aggravating the hell out of me. And you can put it here, but I'm pretty sure that's for Battle Master connecting right there. You don't want the null ray right there, or maybe you do. So and you can see you can clearly see the robot mode from the side, but it kind of was always like that. It's not so bad. But when you swing around to the front, it's like this giant hole, like right here, which is, yeah, that's kind of funky. I'm not really feeling that. You know, man, maybe it could have like hinged up right here. And I don't think there's any landing gear on this thing at all. Obviously, this is the bottom of the jet. And he has some more ports right here, so you can just, they got to reconnect a lot of stuff to these guys. I don't see any landing gear at all. Top view is excellent. I'll probably get mine a tab better, but this is excellent right here. You got your jet. And I'm not sure. I mean, originally the G1, he's an F-15, and I guess it's sort of F-15-ish. But we lose the boosters right here in order to get better feet. But it actually makes it look more modern, which is kind of cool. So I like it and kind of at the same time. Just I guess because it's sort of updated now. I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at that G1 figure. I have the Takara reissue right here for you guys to check out with me. And I got the Takara version because the colors are similar with the lighter blue. So here is the more G1 accurate F-15. And take a look at these guys side by side. This one is definitely a lot bigger. Well, I guess not that much bigger, but it's noticeably bigger. But you can see the similarities and the differences. And I'm going to bring out Siege Starscream. You'll see his Earth update. What was it? Did they get like a regression in technology when they got an Earth mode? But it's not so much as an update as a change. And here he is next to the only other Earthrise Decepticon I own, Astro Train. And he might be the only other Earthrise Decepticon released at this point. I'm not really sure. Alright, got Starscream back to his robot mode. I actually enjoyed the transformation. Only thing I didn't like was that little hollow part and then the one issue with the wing falling off. But he's a pretty solid figure. And you just gotta have Starscream, right? And I'm looking forward to getting the other guys as well. Skywarp and Thundercrack. I think they're coming in a 2-pack. Hope they're not hard to get, like the Amazon Skywarp Siege figure. So I'm going to size Starscream up and run him down. I'm going to get him next to his G1 incarnation. Check them out side by side. I actually was inspired to change the transformation on the legs from this figure to this figure. Kind of works out, sort of, kind of. Here he is next to his Siege incarnation. Here he is next to his Masterpiece incarnation. I wonder how soon before a third party gives us a cape and crown set for this guy. Here he is next to his oversized Masterpiece incarnation. And here he is next to his oversized Masterpiece incarnation of the green screen Starscream. So okay, my final thoughts on Earthrise Starscream. He's a solid figure. He's not blowing me away. I wouldn't be like, you gotta go out and get him. But it is Starscream, so I would add him to my collection. Obviously I have, but I would recommend him in that regard. But the figure's not blowing me away. I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to buy the other repaints of Thundercrack and Skywarp as well because of what they are. Because it reminds me of the G1 and it's the Earth version. So, and I'm a collector and I'm collecting. So don't go crazy trying to track this guy down. You know, he'll be out there. Just like this guy was, when he first came out, he disappeared. And now he's still hanging on shelves. And then, for what I understand, they improved the chest. I don't know. But maybe they will improve the wing if you don't get into the first few runs or whatever. But it is Starscream, and he's an iconic character. So I would recommend him in that regard. So I'm going to get out of here. And I want to thank you for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.
Autobots, transform!